Hi, everyone. Nice to see you again. My name is Stacey Adelman, and I'm a registered psychologist and founder at Joshua Tree Learning Center. And every Tuesday at 12, we go live and we talk about a variety of different topics. So today's topic is Eagala. And what is Eagala and what is the approach about? So Eagala is better known as horse therapy or therapy with horses. And so, about a little more than a year ago, several members of our team at Joshua Tree Learning Center, we worked together and became certified in the Eagala model. Now, there, those of you who have heard about therapy with horses have probably heard about different kinds of therapy that is out there. And so, what the Eagala model is, it's specifically a psychotherapy model or a form of counseling. And it's all ground based. So, this does not involve horseback riding. And so it's a counseling approach, but obviously not in our office. It takes place out in, we have 3 different locations that we work out of. So Beaver Creek Ranch and Horse Center, which is by Lumsden. We work out of Hidden Creek Ranch, which is by Pilot Butte. And we also work out at Rough Bark Arena, which is by Trossachs, which is out towards Weyburn area. And so we have 3 equine specialists that we work with. So the Eagala model is very clear that you need to work with a horse specialist and you need to work with a mental health therapist. So there are credentials, very high credentials for each of those roles that need to be met in order to be certified under the Eagala model. So at each of those locations, we work with a certified Eagala horse specialist. And so in Beaver Creek Ranch, that is with Brenda Clemens. At Hidden Creek Ranch, that is with Glenda Hiwalo. And at Rough Bark Arena, we work with Haley Motes. So if any of you know any of these individuals, you will know that they are very highly trained, highly respected horse people in the community. They just have a wealth and a very large background of experience working with horses. And so they are the ones that we have agreed to partner with here with Joshua Tree when we do a gala. So the people at Joshua Tree that have the Eagala training, there's myself, Stacey Adelman, who else do we have? Tiara Hogberg, Catherine Young, Deanna Schwint, and Joan Helmsing. Now, Joan doesn't provide counseling, but the other 4 of us do. But Joan actually has that training to provide tutoring services with horses. She's just not offering it at this time. But the other 4 of us all provide counseling support using the Eagala model with horses in partnership with our equine specialists. And so what it is when you show up for an Eagala session, you would go to one of those 3 different arenas. All 3 locations have an indoor arena that we typically work in. We can work outside as well if the weather's nice, but we work indoors. And it's the horse is off lead and does not have any halters or any leads. So it can be either one horse, it can be maybe several horses, depending on the session. That's something that the mental health provider and the equine specialist, we talk together, and the equine specialist is actually in charge of determining that. And so what we do is we set up the counseling session in the arena. The counseling sessions look very different than what they would look like in the office. And so you would see us as a pair off to the side and a client interacting naturally with the horses as they're comfortable. Now, they are not on lead, and the reason for that is because this model really wants to see the natural intuitive type of behavior of horses. So it's really fascinating about horses is they're highly intuitive because they're prey animals. And so they are actually able to read the emotional state of human beings because they have to be sensing everything around them in order to keep themselves safe. So their behavior is reflective or a mirror to the emotional state of the individual or the client that is in there interacting with them. And the reason this is so beneficial for counseling is because the individual is able to actually see their emotional states being mirrored or portrayed in front of them. So it kind of gives them like a physical representation, if you will, of what is happening with them emotionally. And so it allows the opportunity for a really nice, authentic, genuine type of connection, as opposed to them being on lead or being pulled or directed or changed. You're seeing a more authentic type of connection or a relationship happening there. And when that happens, it increases the trust factor in a counseling kind of situation. It also provides an opportunity for really deep reflection. So it's very experiential. So it's very in the moment. And so the job of the mental health therapist and the equine specialist then is to watch the horse's behaviors, document that, and then guide the client through specific questioning techniques and providing information to help them come to their own conclusions or find their own solutions to the issues or the problems that they are trying to solve or trying to work through. So this is a really nice model, particularly for individuals with whom maybe talking or trying to communicate is really, really difficult. And the reason this is so nice is because there's significantly less verbal interaction. It's a lot more behavioral type of interaction. And the questioning technique just lends itself a lot nicer to support individuals who find the communication or the verbal sharing of information more difficult. It's also really, really nice for individuals with whom maybe other counseling approaches haven't worked so well, or there's been a real difficulty to trust, particularly trusting humans, right? There's a nice, authentic relationship that can happen with an animal. So it lends itself really nicely, perhaps, to people who just feel like counseling just hasn't worked well for them and they're looking for another option. Um, it's also really nice fit for people that maybe want more of that experiential approach where they feel like they're actually doing something or they're interacting. There's a model that we actually work through to help individuals, or we guide them through the process to help them figure out what it is they need to know. I really like it because I find it empowers the client a lot more. It puts them at the center of figuring things out for themselves, that they do have that within themselves to figure out what it is they need to work through or figure out. So it's really nice for helping us learn about relationships, about trust, about communication. It's very effective for things like depression, anxiety, relationships, trauma. Um, any age can benefit from therapy with horses. A lot of people say, well, is it safe? Yes, it is very, very safe. It's a very controlled environment. Our equine specialist is always there. They're in charge of everything to do with the facility and the horses and to ensure that everything that happens there is safe. And we never work beyond what a client is comfortable with. So, for example, if an individual isn't ready to go into the arena, it's okay to sit on the outside of the arena and look in and observe. There's so much we can do within the comfort level of the individual attending. So I think a key differential here is that Eagala is very ground-based. No halters or leads are used. Some people might be more familiar with equine-assisted learning. The key difference there is equine-assisted learning is on a lead and on a halter, so it involves a lot more with directing a horse or providing challenges, which has many of its own benefits as well. Just the Eagala model lends itself more to a counseling or a psychotherapy kind of a model where it allows for more of that kind of an authentic relationship or connection where we're seeing horses in their natural state and responding naturally to their environment. Um, Essentially, again, all ages. It works really well with all ages. Eagala makes sure that we adhere to a high level of code of ethics and standards, recertifications, and so on. So we have such a nice team here. We consult regularly with one another in terms of making sure everything is delivered to the highest of quality. Um, Many people ask, well, it's almost the end of fall. Are you still, doing horse therapy? And the great news is yes. All 3 locations have an indoor facility, and enough heat in those indoor facilities that we're able to operate year round. You might have to wear a toque and mitts, and in the coldest of days, we've had some ski pants that we've been wearing, but you'll be fine. Last year we were lucky. We operated all year round in the indoor facilities. So we're very, very lucky that we can do that in all 3 locations. This has been really effective for helping individuals learn to manage or regulate emotion. And so the reason it's so effective is because it's in the moment, it's experiential, and we can coach people through that as it's happening. So they can actually practice that in real time. And that has just been such a benefit. So works extremely well for managing emotion or regulating behavior. We've done some really nice groups with neurodivergent youth, and it works really great for learning how to build relationships, communicate with one another, manage emotions, manage impulsivity. And so just to really practice those skills in real time with horses, it's more engaging, and it works really, really, really well. We've worked with many individuals with autism as well, and so it can be very helpful with that. And so I highly recommend this model. It's something I really enjoy. If you're interested in participating, our process here at Joshua Tree is that we ask, if you're new to Joshua Tree, we ask that you book an intake appointment and then have a meeting with one of the counselors that does provide the Eagala service. And just so we get a really good, solid understanding of what's bringing you in for counseling and how we can structure that session to best meet your needs. And so we'd like to have an in-office session. And then after that, it's done in collaboration with your therapist as to how frequently you might want to work with the horses versus being in office. We can do a little bit of both. It's completely individualized and tailored to your needs. So we work with whatever works best for you. The other great news is it's totally covered under your extended health benefits. So horse therapy is covered. Now, we cannot direct a bill for horse therapy, but we provide a receipt for you to submit on your own, and it is totally covered. It's a counseling approach, and a mental health therapist is always present. And to me, that's just one of the benefits, or what drew me to the Eagala model, is that you always have a horse specialist present, and you always have a trained mental health therapist present. So it just ensures safety from a physical standpoint, as well as the mental health standpoint. So we've made sure that safety is at the forefront here. If you have any questions, we would be happy to talk with you about that. It's something that's kind of hard to explain. I always say it's something you really need to experience, but we hope that we can answer any questions you have. Just contact us at the office at 306-537 or 306-546-5674, or you can email us at reception@joshuatreelearning.com. And we're more than happy to answer any questions you have about Eagala. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next week on Tuesdays at 12. Take care, everyone.